The year is 2010, and my family and I are on our way to go shopping at a local store. Now, my older brother and I obviously weren't too excited to tag along. So while everyone else went shopping, my older brother and I went over to the electronics section, and one of the devices on display was a brand new iPhone 4. And one of the apps on this iPhone was a light demo version of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. I didn't play it long, but I was hooked. My older brother and I played this demo almost the entire time we were there. And when we got home, I decided to boot up my iPod Touch and download this demo for myself, where I would eventually end up buying the full game. This Need for Speed is a pretty important one for me, so let's get right into it. Released alongside its console counterpart in November of 2010 and delisted in August of 2019, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on mobile received overall positive reviews. The most common complaints were the lackluster physics and graphics package, which is understandable. I mean, these graphics haven't aged real well, but honestly, they're not terrible. They're not great either. But all in all, it's a great mobile Need for Speed that paved the way for future installments. So without any further ado, let's begin the hunt. My hunt began while looking for the Android version of the game. Now, when you're installing an Android game, you need two file types: the APK file and the OBB file. The OBB file, which includes all the cars, tracks, all of the data for the game, and the APK file, which kinda acts like a zip file and pretty much bundles all this up so that when you hit the icon on your home screen, it will play correctly. Now thankfully, I didn't have to search long for what I was looking for. Except when I booted up the game, this was the message I got. And after a quick Google search, my best explanation is simply this. When this game was available on the Google Play Store, you would have had to have bought the game with real money. This game was not free, you had to pay several dollars for it. So when you opened up the app would actually check to make sure you legitimately purchased this game. It means I need to find a workaround in order to get this Android version up and running. But in the meantime, while trying to find a solution, I went ahead and downloaded several more APK and OBB files from different websites, but I got the same result. It wasn't until a couple months later that I found what I was looking for in a YouTube video, of all things. What's different about these files is that they are modified to bypass that license check. These files are also modified in allowing the player access to maximum level, which is 15, and all the cars unlocked on the first mission. But of course, I still need to locate the iOS version of the game, which unfortunately was going to be even more complicated. If Google was going to have issues about me downloading a game from a third-party website, I couldn't imagine how much Apple was going to push back, as they're very, very strict about installing games outside of the App Store. The only plus side is that Apple devices only require one file to install an app, an IPA file. Not many websites have IPA files available for download, and even fewer of those websites even work. Now, the go-to website, for IPA files at least, is iPhone Cake, which has several, and I mean several, different pages to check through. And after sifting through all of them, I found a version that worked. Finally, it was time to boot up and play Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on mobile again. And while that previously mentioned graphics physics package is nothing to write home about, the gameplay, on the other hand, is great. It may seem quite basic, but there's something about its simplicity that I really enjoy. The cops and robbers aspect is very well presented here. There are a few different game modes to choose from, but between the racer and cop careers, they're basically the same. Hands down, the best game mode is Tough Justice. Especially the last couple Tough Justice events in the career mode, where things really ramp up and honestly are pretty difficult even still today. Honestly, I could go on and on about this game for quite a while. So I'm going to stop myself and send it on over to the installation tutorial so you all can play this game yourself. Alright, now we are on to the tutorial section of the video. Okay, I want to start off by showing you how to get the Android version of the game. Alright, now in this example of the tutorial, I'm going to be using BlueStacks emulator on a PC, but this also works on a mobile device. I have tested it on both. So, first things first, you gotta have the game files, okay? Massive thank you to Zach001 here. This guy right here did it, okay? All the other downloads had licensing issues and boot up issues. Not this one. I don't know what he did differently, but it works like a charm on Android. So you can see here there's two different things here, one of which is the APK, the other is OBB. Both of these links will be in the description. As you can see here, we've got, so now obviously it is in Russian. I can translate it to English, but that's basically what it says. You want to hit that download button. Same with the OBD, it's the exact same thing. Now I'm going to try this because I do believe there is possibly a pop-up here. Let's see, we click it once, hit X, click it again, and then it starts. So there is a dummy click right off the bat. You have to click it. It's going to probably bring up a pop-up ad, so you X that off, and then click it again, and then it will begin to download, as you can see right there. Both of them beginning to download. Now, one of these is just a straight APK file, and the other is a zip file. So, and normally I would tell you to extract that zip file, but not in this case. No. Don't want to extract it just yet, okay? Now I'm going to head on to BlueStacks. Obviously, you can also get onto your phone. The main common denominator here between the emulator and the actual device is this app right here, ZAchiever. You gotta have it on these, on the emulator and on your phone. It's an absolute lifesaver when it comes to moving things, moving files, extracting files, all that, locating files. It's amazing. You've got it. It's a must-have if you're gonna do something like this. Now here's where doing it on your phone and doing it on the emulator, those paths kind of split. If you're using your phone, you could just go straight to ZAchiever and find the file that we just downloaded. But if you're using the emulator, where you don't have the files on the computer, I need to move them. But on the emulator, I need to move those files over to this emulator here. So I'm going to click this, System Apps, Media Manager, and we should bring up this page right here, okay? Next thing you want to click is Import from Windows. I'll click that. That will bring up this right here. So now we want to find that zip file, okay? Here, okay? Now I've got everything right here. I've got the APK, the IPA for the iOS game, and the zip file. We just want the zip file, okay? So let's double click that. and it will immediately start to move it over into this program here on BlueStacks, okay? Done. Okay. Now, it's up here, okay? So now, here's the thing. If I click on this, it will immediately send me to ZAchiever. Now here's the thing. It takes you inside the zip file first things first, and we don't want that yet, okay? So we're gonna hit this back arrow up here, and that will show us the zip file as in its whole entirety, okay? So we wanna go up here, click on this, in the check mark, which unfortunately my face is blocking, but it's where my face is. And that allows us to do this, okay? Then we're going to hit, let's see if they'll let us extract it right here. Okay, hit that extract button, device memory, Android, and then OBB. Once you're into here, then you can hit the paste button, and it will automatically move what's inside of that, both the files, the data file and what I believe to be the workaround for the licensing file. I'm not positive, but I have good suspicion. I have a good hunch that that is what that extra file is. Every other file I've done that's OBB, it only needs the one OBB file. There's never two like in this case. The data file is now on the computer, and the data file is now on the emulator, and it's where we want it to be. So it's clear all. And all the way over here to this right side, there's install APK. Okay? And there's our APK. Obviously, if you don't know where it is, you'll need to go find it, but I've obviously got it already set up. Hit that, and then open, and it will install the APK file, and the data file's already there. Okay, so now it is up. Everything should be set. Let's click it and find out if it worked. Oh, of course, we gotta hit allow. Now let's see if it worked. Bingo! There you go. That is how you get Need for Speed Hot Pursuit working and running and playing on Android devices. Unfortunately, this tutorial's not over yet because now I have to show you how to do the Apple version of the game. So, let's X all of this off and start over. Okay, now for the Apple users, a quick disclaimer, up on the screen right now should be a system requirements type of deal. Simply put, you've got to be running a 32-bit iOS device. 64-bit, modern 64-bit iOS devices will not work for this exact situation. Now there are some different versions of the game. This version here we're going to be running on the iPad 4th gen, last 32-bit iPad Apple made. So we're going to be we're going to be installing the 32-bit version of the game, but there is a 64-bit version out there. I believe it is on the Internet Archive. I'll put a link to that in the description. I believe that's where that is. So for the 64-bit users, I believe there is still hope for you guys as well in this case. In this case, again, we're doing the 32-bit version, so link in the description should be to this one right here. Again, I'll see if I can get the 64-bit version in the description as well. But obviously, click that, take you to this web page here. You'll click download file, and it should start it up here in just a moment. There we go, download started. There it is, down there on the bottom. So you'd start that. Now, in most cases, it's usually like a zip file or a RAR file. In this case, it's not. It's literally just the IPA, so that's very nice. Once you download that, it would show up in your download folder on your computer. But once you've got the game file, the next thing you'll need is the program to sideload it onto your device. And that's Sideloadly. Link in the description as well. Link will take you to this page right here. You'll click on that, you'll go down here, scroll all the way down to this section right here to download Sideloadly. Several different versions of this available for 64 and 32-bit Windows and Mac OS. That's all depends on your device. All depends on what computer you're running. I'm
obviously I already have it downloaded and installed, but I use the 64-bit version running Windows 10. Once you download that, that would download the exe file, and you'll want to set that up. And you'll want to set sideloadly up. I'll have a card somewhere up on the top of the screen on how to install, how to set up. It's install and set up sideloadly, because you will need a working iTunes account, whether that be a legitimate account or a dummy account that you make just to sideload apps. You will need an account, and you will need an internet connection to do this. So once you've got sideloadly, and you've got it all set up, and you've got an account plugged into it, you should have something like this right here. Have your device plugged in. Again, you want internet to both of these devices. Both the computer here and the tablet are connected to Wi-Fi right now. Let's see. Click this IPA button right out here. Okay, click that. And then you'll want to find that IPA file that you just downloaded. And right here it is. And we'll double click that. And there it is. Okay. Oh, there we go. Last thing you want to do is click the start button. And, oh, there you go. Hey, we finally got somewhere. Okay, so it's done, and it is now on your home page. But if we try to tap it, it will say that it's an untrusted developer. You haven't done anything wrong. There's just one more step. Okay, settings, general, slide all the way to the bottom, hit device management, developer app, and here's your thing. It's verified, but we haven't trusted it yet. So let's hit the trust button. Yes, trust. And now you're ready to go. Now you've been granted access to this app for 7 days. Okay? We'll go ahead and boot it up, I guess, just to make sure everything is operational. And it seems as though it is. Of course, we're going to get the same intro again, without music this time for some reason. Well, volume's not really working, but that's okay. And that will finally conclude the tutorials for this tutorial section. I had to do double duty in the tutorials today. I'll send it on over now to the next segment, where I'll give you some final thoughts and some gameplay. Electronic Arts may not release mobile Need for Speed tie-in games alongside every console release like they used to 10 plus years ago, but Hot Pursuit is a great example of a mobile tie-in game. A great way for console players to experience Hot Pursuit on the go, and a great introduction for mobile players who may have never played Hot Pursuit before. It's also a great game to have on a demo smartphone. You know, in the rare case that a 10-year-old kid needs something to do while his parents are shopping. Anyway, that'll do it for this week's episode. I'll leave you all with some gameplay. If you're enjoying this series, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel out a lot. And if you stick around till after the gameplay, you can see a sneak peek of the next episode. But until next time, keep on gaming, everybody.
on the next episode of Delisted. Before Codemasters' Dirt series rose to the prominence it has today, the Colin McRae rally games were a go-to in the late 90s and early 2000s. But in this episode of Delisted, I don't want to talk about any of those older games. No, I want to talk about the last Colin McRae game made to date. Now buckle up and hang on, because when in doubt, go flat out.